Good morning. If everyone can please stand. Can everyone stand and remain standing? Thank you.
You may be seated. Welcome to the University of Detroit Mercy School of Dentistry's 89th commencement ceremony, honoring the class of 2022. Woo! I am Dr. Judith Jones, professor in the Division of Practice Essentials and Interprofessional Education, and Grand Marshal for today's ceremony. Before we begin the ceremony, I must respectfully ask everyone with a cell phone to please silence it. In addition, I would ask all non-universities photographers and videographers, please refrain from using the aisleways and the area in front of the stage out of consideration for fellow guests and the graduates' safety and well-being. Thank you for your cooperation. Will everyone please stand while the invocation is proffered by Father Gilbert Sungera. Please remain standing after the invocation for the singing of the anthems, the lyrics of which appear in your programs.
So welcome. I invite you to kind of quiet your minds a bit and bring to God, image the God whom you worship. Even though this is a Catholic institution, we support all the different faith traditions and people of no faith. But at some point in your time here, you've encountered a power that's greater than yourself. So I invite you to bring that to mind. The university begins each academic year with Celebrate Spirit, and the centerpiece of that celebration is a Mass of the Holy Spirit, a tradition that dates back to the Middle Ages. Universities would invoke the Holy Spirit, the Creator Spirit, to come upon faculty and staff, and especially our students, to bring holy wisdom. The Latin introit of that Mass is Veni Sancte Spiritus. Come, Holy Spirit, come, and from your celestial home shed a ray of light divine. Those words have echoed through these hallowed halls of every Jesuit university and college for over 450 years and for over 170 years at the various Mercy colleges and universities, imploring that Spirit to bestow on our students, faculty, staff, and administrators the wisdom and knowledge to create a more resplendent world, reflecting the kingdom of God, which I may remind you is a kingdom of truth and life, a kingdom of holiness and grace, a kingdom of justice, love, and peace. As someone who often visits your faculty practice, I often and am always moved by watching the dental students calling back their clinic patients. It's a reflection of the glorious diversity of this metro region. I was also moved, especially these past 2 years, when in the midst of a raging pandemic, the clinic remained open, serving people who have little options when it comes to dental care, and when other larger dental clinics simply closed their doors. On behalf of the Jesuits and the Mercies, I thank all of you for doing that service. So I invite you to bow your heads and for the parents and friends to extend their hand in blessing. Gracious God, today we ask your blessings on those whose wisdom and honor as they depart Detroit Mercy Dental. Guide them in their endeavor to bring about your kingdom. You have formed these great women and men not just in their professional capacity, but also as global citizens ready to take on the challenges of a world that needs to flourish. Lead them and guide them in your loving care. And to that Creator Spirit and Godhead, we all say, Amen.
You may be seated. It is now my privilege to present to you our platform party. Beginning with the front row to my far right, your left, are Father Gilbert Sunghera, Superior of the University of Detroit Mercy Jesuit Community and Associate Professor of the School of Architecture. Dr. Timothy Saunders, Assistant Dean of Clinic Administration. Ms. Monica Barber, Senior Attorney and Corporate Secretary. Professor Pamela Zarkowski, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Antoine Garibaldi, President of the University of Detroit Mercy. Dr. Mert Aksu, Dean of the School of Dentistry. Dr. Stephen Stefanik, Clinical Professor, Department of Periodontics and Oral Medicine, and Associate Dean for Patient Services, University of Michigan School of Dentistry. And Dr. John Dinka, President of the School of Dentistry Alumni Association. Seated in the back row to my immediate right are Dr. Vincent Benevegna, President of the Michigan Dental Association. Ms. Elizabeth Pitts, President of the Michigan Dental Hygienists Association. Mr. Arnold D'Ambrosio, Vice President of University Advancement. Dr. Juliet Daniels, Assistant Dean of Student Services and Enrollment Management, School of Dentistry. Professor Kathy Shepard, Interim Assistant Dean for Academic Administration, School of Dentistry. Dr. Karen Lee, Associate Vice President for Academic Administration. Professor Catherine Snyder, Dean of the College of Engineering and Science. And Ms. Deborah Stiefel, Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs. Dean Aksu will now deliver the opening remarks.
So before I begin, I'm going to have us all rise as we play the national anthems for Canada and the United States.
Patriot
Well, thank you. You may be seated. Well, it's been quite an interesting ride. Dear class of 2022, I congratulate you. But before I go too much further, congratulations, yes. I want to thank our guests who are here to celebrate with you. The platform party, of course, but your family, friends, and significant others. Congratulations to you all as well. When I pondered about what comments I would make today during this graduation ceremony, I realized that this defining moment for you holds a spirit of change for us all. All that we've experienced together over the past few years has certainly changed us all, allowed you to learn the art and science of your profession as well as grow as human beings. Your own personal and professional development is what we're here to celebrate today. And I reminisce about my own graduation as I sat in your seat, all excited about what was going to happen. I'm pleased to be with you here today and honored to have had the opportunity to spend this time with you. You spent a lot of time and long years studying and developing your skills to get where you are today. And as I've spoken many times, the transformation that brought you here today becomes part of the fabric of who you are forever. You will be identified by the profession you hold and honored by the profession and responsibilities that you keep. I want to take a moment to thank also those who helped you get here in addition to your family, friends, and significant others. Your professors, those men and women who are more than just teachers and skilled practitioners, but they were role models and their influence will extend beyond the classroom. They were here to help you learn the skills and develop yourselves for a career that will last 30 to 40 years for some of you. The cutting-edge techniques that you learned will someday be replaced by the next best generation of cutting-edge techniques, and the cycle of learning will continue, but I'm sure you will remember your professors for the rest of your lives. We also need to take a moment to thank those who are sitting next to you, for they shared in your journey and shared in your struggles and shared in your celebrations as well. From the moment you arrived, you began to form a bond that will, for many of you, last the rest of your lives. It's part of the memories, again, part of the fabric of who you are. By virtue of this special bond, you will have a relationship that will last forever for the class of 2022. Your family, friends, and parents, and all of those who are here today, were also a part of this journey. They shared with you your tears, your smiles, your celebrations, and they should also be proud of the moment that they're celebrating here with you. I'm going to take a moment and again thank everybody, because this is a moment of giving thanks for all that we've been able to achieve together. So thank you all for all your achievements. To be honest with you, I can't predict what's next for you. However, I can say that I do hope you realize there's more to life than just one dream. What's your next dream? To stop dreaming would be to stop living. You wonder about what your future holds, what patience you will see, and what further preparation you will need. For me, this moment was both a beginning and an end. I realized I was not finished for where I wanted to go, but unsure of what laid ahead for me. Think long-term for yourselves and have lots of patience, both the kind that you treat and the kind that give you the tenderness and caring to allow you to persevere. The principal difference between those who are successful and those who struggle are those who are successful have the qualities of leadership, patience, and understanding that give them the resilience to survive. Your education has prepared you to be some of the best dentists and dental hygienists in our country. You have some of the greatest experiences, have treated some of the most difficult cases, and seen some of the most needy people. You've learned a lot from those you've cared for they've taught you more than just the opportunities to learn your profession. They taught you about connecting with humanity, and that's an important concept for you to take with you as you leave here today. As you determine the places you'll go, the people you will touch, and the life you will need, you should always remember the things you learned while you were here at Detroit Mercy Dental. The techniques, the passion, the compassionate care that you provided. It's part of who we are at Detroit Mercy, and it's part of who you are now as a graduate. Remember as you go forward in life to look back over your shoulder and think about the legacy you want to leave and the footprints you want to leave behind. Remember the impression you want to give others, and remember the thoughts you want to leave behind when you're no longer able to make a difference. Remember, too, that excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. Your success will be defined about who you are, your moral compass, and most often those who are successful don't waste time basking in success, but realize that in order to continue to be successful, they move on to their next accomplishment. I want to thank you all again for the opportunity to be here. Through your supports and dreams, your children's husbands, wives, friends have achieved a dream with you that will be one of many for you in the future. I'm sure of that. Now I want to take a moment to introduce our our today's commencement speaker, Dr. Steven Stefanik. And I've known Dr. Stefanik since I was a dental student, believe it or not, and he was a graduate student in the Department of Oral Diagnosis at the University of Michigan. I remember the interactions I had with him. He was both a caring, kind, and compassionate teacher, but one that expected excellence from his students. He pushed you to be better, challenged you to be your best, and certainly left a lasting impression on me. For that, I am eternally grateful. And for more than that, I'm grateful that he's here with us today and that throughout my career, I've had an opportunity for our paths to cross together. So thank you, Dr. Stefanik, for being here today, and I look forward to your words of wisdom as well.
Actually, Dr. Stefanik is not going to join us at the podium right now.
Okay.
But we're looking forward to that, Dr. Stefanik. My name is Pamela Zarkowski, and I have the honor to serve as Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. It is now my privilege to present to you the President of University of Detroit Mercy, Dr. Antoine M. Garibaldi. I want to take a moment to recognize that this will be Dr. Garibaldi's last commencement as president, as his tenure as president concludes at the end of June. He has been a visible and engaged leader and has led Detroit Mercy during the last 11 years with exceptional dedication, passion, and enthusiasm. I am confident that you share my appreciation for his leadership. President Garibaldi.
Thank you very much, Provost Zarkowski. And as you can see, we also know how to adapt. So welcome everyone to the 89th commencement of the School of Dentistry. I begin by acknowledging the presence of the University Leadership Council, our faculty, staff, and current students, our parents, spouses, relatives, and friends of the graduation candidates, and most importantly, our Detroit Mercy 2022 dental candidates. I expected that applause because after 2 years of virtual commencement ceremonies, we're all happy to be here in person to celebrate your graduation and other academic and service-related accomplishments. This is a very significant year in the history of the university and its founding sponsors, the Society of Jesus and the Sisters of Mercy. 145 years ago, in 1877, University of Detroit was founded by the Jesuits downtown on Jefferson Avenue. And 81 years ago, in 1941, the Religious Sisters of Mercy founded Mercy College of Detroit on Outer Drive, just a few miles away from here. And 91 years ago, the School of Dentistry was founded by the university as well. But in the same way as the Sisters of Mercy and the Jesuits had the vision to establish two excellent institutions of higher learning, the Sisters of Mercy and the Jesuits also had the foresight and the boldness to join together in 1990 and create a stronger Catholic university for Detroit, for Michigan, for the nation, and also for the world. Consolidating two institutions of higher education into one was not easy, but the fact that your soon-to-be alma mater is alive and strong in 2022 is confirmation that both universities and their sponsors made the right decision 32 years ago. I must share one additional centennial history note regarding this McNichols campus. Exactly 100 years ago, the site that we are on today was vacant farmland that was purchased by then-President Father John McNichols to expand the student body and academic majors of the university because the Jefferson Avenue campus downtown could not accommodate any more students. Now you know why 6 Mile Road is also named McNichols Road, after the 11th president of University of Detroit. I am sure that Father McNichols, Mother Carmelita Manning of the Sisters of Mercy and Mercy College of Detroit, and Dominican sister, Sister Maureen Fay, founding president of University of Detroit Mercy in 1990, who passed away last May, are joyfully looking down on all of us as they see the fruits of their labor realized with your graduation today. History is very important, as you can see, and much will be written about the 2-year COVID-19 pandemic that we have just lived through and are not finished with, but that has tragically taken more than 1 million lives thus far in the United States alone. And graduation candidates, you have your own personal stories about how difficult and challenging your last 2 years of study have been during this worldwide health crisis. You have overcome many obstacles to achieve your goal of obtaining a bachelor's degree, and much of the credit is shared by those special individuals who have served as your support system. They are here to witness your accomplishment, and that includes your parents, your grandparents, brothers and sisters, spouses, aunts, uncles, other relatives, and many of your best friends. You know that you could not have accomplished any of your goals without their extraordinary personal and also financial support. So please thank them for their sacrifices, their inspiration, and also their encouragement. Graduation candidates, I'm going to tell the audience a few interesting facts about your class and highlight some of your similar and different characteristics with regard to your ages, your gender, and your hometowns. But I want you to know that I have a final exam question for you. Your studies are not over. Be calm, though, because it is a take-home question, and you will grade it, not me. And to keep you in further suspense, the answer to your question is not due next week or next year, but several years from now. Now for a few interesting facts about your class of 187 graduates. 22 of you are receiving dental hygiene baccalaureate degrees. 140 of you are receiving Doctor of Dental Surgery degrees. 10 are receiving accelerated Doctor of Dental Surgery degrees. 11 of you will be receiving certificates and master's degrees in the specialty areas of endodontics, orthodontics, and periodontics. And 4 of you will be receiving graduate certificates in advanced education in general dentistry. Your class shares some similarities as well as differences regarding your ages, gender, and the undergraduate colleges from which you graduated. 66% of you, for example, are 29 years or younger, and the other 37% are between the ages of 30 and 50. Your class also has more women than men, 58% female and 42% male. Gentlemen, we are outnumbered today. And among the 140 Doctor of Dental Surgery candidates, you graduated from a variety of different colleges and universities across the country and the world. Half, or 79 of you, graduated from 16 different Michigan colleges and universities. 1/4 of you graduated from colleges and universities in 12 other states. And the remaining 1/4, 31 of you, graduated from Canadian, Egyptian, and Chinese institutions of higher education. Those similar and different personal characteristics provided you with a rich and diverse educational experience that will be used well in your profession and in the communities where you will live and serve. So as you begin your new career or continue in your current occupation, it's a good time to reflect on this unexpected final exam question. And that question is, what impact will I make on my profession, my community, and my university over my lifetime? Let me repeat that. What impact will I make on my profession, my community, and my university over my lifetime? I ask you that question about what impact will you make on your profession, your community, and your university over your lifetime because you have already demonstrated that you can first adapt to all kinds of circumstances, and secondly, because you are resilient. Even though you had an unusual but still excellent Detroit Mercy dental education experience over the past 2 years, you adapted well to both your required in-class academic work and your external assignments, including taking online and remote classes, being flexible with your dental clinic schedules, staying healthy physically and mentally, as you often studied alone and were unable to be with your classmates and your other friends. And some of you, whose hometowns are from a long distance away, were not able to travel and visit your families who lived around the country and around the world. You exhibited your resilience through a determination to do whatever was necessary to realize your dream of obtaining your dental degrees and certificates. You valiantly manage your anxiety about your classes, even if you occasionally complained about some of our COVID-19 safety protocols. And you also cared for loved ones who needed health-related assistance or were seriously ill from the virus. You did that while you were a student. You have proven that you can withstand adversity, which is why I am confident that you will not only be very successful in your dental professions, but that you also have the capacity to leave a lasting legacy on your community and Detroit Mercy. As I've met alumni over the last 11 years, resilience is a notable characteristic of many of those alumni. They have told me about their growing up in large and small families and coming from humble beginnings. Most of our alumni are also the first in their families to attend college, law school, or dental school, and a majority of them have become very successful. However, they have not lost the virtue of humility that was instilled in them by their parents, as they quickly attribute their success to the opportunity they had to receive a first-class education at this university. As you can imagine, the stories are moving, they're real, and they're very sincere. And it is for those reasons that so many of them have given back or plan to give back to the university one day. Most of the scholarships that some of you have been awarded came from alumni like the ones whom I have just described. And one day, in the not-too-distant future, you will hopefully have the opportunity to give back to a current or prospective student who has the same professional dreams that you had several years ago. To illustrate how touching, poignant, and simultaneously uplifting the testimonies of our first-generation alumni can be, I leave you with the story of one with whom I have developed a very close relationship over the last 11 years. Always generous, I never knew how serious this alumnus's family's circumstances were during his college years. Nearly 60 years ago, when he was a student, it was so hard for his family to pay the University of Detroit tuition that they sold a cemetery plot that had been given to them by their aunt. The sale of that plot allowed him to finish and to pay his junior year tuition. That selfless individual has given back literally a millionfold to the university over the last 5 years and has the largest endowed scholarship of any living alumni, a figure steadily approaching $1 million. That modest but generous alumnus does not want or need public recognition for his Detroit Mercy Family Scholarship, but is a valuable stimulus to the more than 207 new endowed scholarships that were established during the last major fundraising campaign in 2019. I hope one day that you might emulate those numerous alumni who are making it possible for current students to receive a Detroit Mercy education. The generosity of our alumni has been important to sustaining our progress in recent years, and that is why I ask you to think seriously about the answer to your last final exam question. What impact will I make on my profession, my community, and my university over my lifetime? It is truly not too early to think about what your legacy will be to your university and your profession, as well as your community. It would be absolutely wonderful if you could provide support for a scholarship for the next generation of Detroit Mercy alumni. But you can also give back in many other ways through alumni involvement with the School of Dentistry, the university as well. So become active in the Alumni Association through their numerous volunteer opportunities. And I can assure you that you will be energized by those who are following in your footsteps. But get involved immediately after you graduate and during your illustrious career. Congratulations, and I wish you continued success, and may God's blessings be with you always, and also with your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Garibaldi. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, Dr. Steven Stefanik. Dr. Stefanik.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, and congratulations to the class of 2022. Woo. It's difficult for me to believe I walked across this stage 42 years ago when I received my dental degree from what was then the University of Detroit. I know how exciting that day was for myself and my family, and I hope you are savoring the day as you begin the next chapter of your professional life. As I think back over the last 42 years, I appreciate the great education I received at the School of Dentistry. It also gives me pause to look forward, as if I was graduating today, and make some observations that will help you ensure your future success. As you begin your career, it will be tempting to only focus on improving your clinical skills. While this is very important, I suggest you also watch for new developments in the health sciences. Dentists and dental hygienists of the future will be functioning as part of interprofessional teams when treating patients, particularly those with complex health histories. To be able to successfully interact with other health professionals, you will need to use your knowledge of pharmacology and pathophysiology of medical conditions to be able to get the best information possible to treat your patients. There is also an opportunity for you to teach other health professionals about the importance of oral health and how it can affect overall patient health. You can remain current by taking continuing education courses. There are many great ones here at the School of Dentistry, and through Organized Dentistry, which I would suggest you continue being a member of. Make the time to read peer-reviewed journals and search out new knowledge. One of the hardest things for dentists and dental hygienists to do is to sort through the large amount of information available for the best evidence-based care. Use the skills you've learned as a critical thinker, especially when others try to tell you what you should do and often purchase. Strive to be inquisitive and continually ask questions. During the COVID epidemic, we found that it was possible to do significant learning online, and this will continue to occur after you've graduated. But it's extremely valuable to get out of the work environment and away from a computer to meet other health professionals, share stories about successes and, yes, failures, and just learn from each other. So consider joining or even creating a study club. And I know this may be in the future, but consider teaching a class or even becoming a full or part-time faculty member. We need you. Some of you will be entering graduate programs, residencies, and careers in the armed forces. Many of you will be employees or associates in large and small dental offices. I suspect you've been asked many times to self-evaluate your performance while in dental school. The challenge now is to continually do this in the future in your new practice environment. At times, it's beneficial to ask others their perception of how you're doing. Do this often enough, and you'll receive valuable feedback and even some criticism. Listen carefully and try not to take things personally. That can be really difficult. But if you maintain an open mind, follow your moral compass while being malleable and willing to change, those around you will respect you. I think the comedian Amy Poehler said it well. Quote, "You can't do it alone. Be open to collaboration. Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life." So this may be a good time to recruit your own personal board of directors, if you haven't done so already. This is a group of individuals that you feel comfortable telling anything to, such as asking for advice and sharing your frustrations. Your board of directors may be composed of other dentists and dental hygienists, family members, friends, and others that can help guide your career, particularly when making difficult decisions. While you are gaining clinical experience, be sure to focus on your patients and those around you. This starts with respecting and understanding the differences between patients, staff, and others who you may professionally interact with. We know that conditions outside of the dental office, such as food insecurity, limited finances, and a lack of transportation, play a role in achieving and maintaining oral health. You can have all the advanced equipment, but patients are still the most important part of the equation. So take the time to understand their needs and desires. They put a huge amount of trust in us, a trust that we must constantly earn. So what do patients want from a dental provider? Research has been done and points to several characteristics. The first is confidence. Dental providers that portray confidence give a patient confidence. The next is empathy, that you understand that the patient is feeling and experiencing and can communicate this back to them. This also means being respectful and taking the patient's input seriously and working with them when there are disagreements. Patients also appreciate frankness when the provider tells them what they need to know in plain language in a forthright manner. And finally, thoroughness. Patients want their provider to be conscientious and take the time that's necessary and not cut corners. If you're like students at other dental schools, your education during COVID brought extra challenges. I believe this makes you more resilient and that you will value the education that you've received. So I leave you with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., quote, "Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education." I wish all of you the best success with building on the great education you received at Detroit Mercy. God bless, and thank you for this opportunity to be here today.
Thank you, Dr. Stefanik. I would like to introduce Ms. Stephanie Marie Leica, class president of the dental hygiene class of 2022, who will speak on behalf of the graduating dental hygiene students. Ms. Leica.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to try to get through this without crying. All of my friends are betting against me, so we'll see how this goes. My name is Stephanie, and I had the pleasure of serving as the Dental Hygiene Class of 2022 class president for the 21-22 year. I would like to thank all of our dignitaries, guests, and my fellow graduates for the opportunity to speak with you today. When we started this program, this day could not come fast enough. However, here we are on this fine Friday, staring the rest of our lives right in the face. I look back on our time in this program as a core memory. To say this program has had a major impact on most of our lives would be an understatement. It has been a milestone that will help shape our career paths moving forward. We are a class of resilience. Beginning a program in the middle of a pandemic was not easy, but somehow, in some way, we made it. I don't think any of us are going to forget the day that Mrs. Van Hook strapped a webcam to her forehead so that all of us at home, in our bedrooms, kitchens, living rooms, could learn instrumentation to the best of our ability. The dedication that Mrs. Van Hook and the rest of our faculty and professors, both clinic and didactic, had to our education was unmatched. We truly could not have done this without them. I am honored to have learned dental hygiene from some of the very best there is, and I am so grateful to have gotten my education at Detroit Mercy. They taught us the importance of our profession and how we don't just clean your teeth, but that we prevent disease and maintain the health of the mouth. The countless hours of studying, late nights, hard work, and tears are never going to be forgotten as we continue our careers in dental hygiene. I feel like we need to not only thank our faculty, but we also need to thank ourselves. We faced a lot of challenges during this program, COVID included, and came out as very strong dental hygienists. We constantly fought the voice in our head that said, I can't do this, when in reality, we did it, and now we're done. We had amazing opportunities as students, including getting involved in the Detroit community, conducting research projects, and providing patient care. I once read a quote that said, "Education is not preparation for life, education is life itself." I think that is an important aspect of going to Detroit Mercy because they emphasize that education is a lifelong process. I find this quote fitting for all of us because as we stand here today, ready to graduate, I know our education is not going to end. Dean Axu is a major proponent for education, and as we all know, that he is not only a dentist, but also a lawyer too. He reiterates that we do not just have to be one thing. And as dental hygienists, we are not one thing. We are educators, prevention specialists, advocates, clinicians, and researchers. Here at Detroit Mercy, we also have the option to become a registered dental assistant during our dental hygiene program too. A couple of weeks ago, Ms. Shepard gave us a lecture that outlined this exact thought. As dental hygienists, we have so many opportunities, and although 22 of us are getting the same degree, we are all going to do 22 different things with it. Our lives are constantly engaged in education and learning new things, and I think that is the concept that keeps life interesting. I personally will be continuing my education at the University of Michigan this fall to pursue my master's degree in the field of dental hygiene. And I will fulfill my goal in becoming an educator. It was because of my educators, who have also served as my mentors, that have encouraged me to continue my career in this direction. I am so passionate about the field of dentistry and about teaching, and I cannot thank my educators enough for the support that I have had regarding my decision. Each one of you will choose a path that will hopefully create the same passion as you as academia has created in me. So today, as we close this chapter in our lives, I hope that you all remember our time at Detroit Mercy as a stepping stone for the future. This is an exciting time in all of our lives, and I am so proud to know each one of you. It has been an absolute pleasure. It has been an absolute pleasure to serve the class of 2022 as your resident. So thank you so much. We did it.
Thank you, Ms. Leica. I'd like to introduce Mr. Brendan George Kruger. Brendan is the president of the dental class of 2022 and will now speak on behalf of the graduating Doctor of Dental Surgery students. Mr. Kruger.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, for that warm introduction. Again, my name is Brendan Kruger. I've had the distinct pleasure and privilege of being the president of the class, the dental class of 2022. We're joined here this morning by heads of the university, including our president and provost, our dental school deans, faculty, administrators, and dignitaries. Our thanks to all of them for being with us on this incredibly special morning. I'd like to similarly thank our graduation marshals, Dr. Joel Felsenfeld, Dr. Rose Geist, Dr. Ahmad Fard, and Professor Todd Harrington. They've joined us on the floor once again today, keeping us out of trouble, same as they always have. I'd also like to acknowledge that as class president, I did not do this alone. I could not have done this alone. So I have to offer my deepest gratitude to our Vice President, Michelle Bagwager, our Secretary, Laura Haggerty, Representatives Sidney Carey and Lizette Ramirez, and our class treasurers, Allison Yoon and Christopher Tremblay. I have to extend that same gratitude to all of our family and friends bearing witness to this moment. Many of our loved ones are gathered here in the hall around us. Many more have tuned in online to watch from afar. We owe all of them a debt of emotion. It will be deeply difficult to repay it, but we owe it to them for sharing this journey with us. Dental school is not easy, and certainly neither is watching someone you love go through it. I'd also like to congratulate those of you who have welcomed new life into this world. And I want to allow everyone a moment to remember the loved ones we lost during our time in school. Although the babies are only beginning to discover how wonderful you are, I have no doubt that those watching over you from beyond, they already know, and they are so, so proud. And I'm proud of us too. I've never been more proud to count myself among a group of complete strangers who became peers and friends, and now on this day become colleagues for life. Just look at you, sitting here in the glow of all that you've accomplished. Maybe the bulk of this is going to be pertaining to the dental class, but hygiene students, dental students, and certainly the residents and accelerated class who were at times both our peers and our mentors. I want to invite all of you to take from the generalities that I say and make them personal for yourself. Graduation's a time for looking forward, reflecting back, and definitely getting hit with a lot of cliche phrases. But truly, just look at how far you've come. Do you remember your first standard not met? Maybe, maybe not. If you remember, maybe you remember keeping a cool head, or maybe you remember feeling a mix of confusion, frustration, utter devastation. But since then, just think of how far you've come. Like I said, dental school is not easy. Nobody expects it to be, and nobody asked it to be. At times, we may have begged for it to make sense, but we never asked for it to be easy. We've faced challenges the likes of which we never fathomed we'd face in dental school, let alone in our lifetime. And yet we faced them, and we persevered. As the saying goes, you can't see the forest for the trees. Said when somebody's getting so bogged down in the details that they lose sight of the big picture. It's generally said with a negative connotation, but honestly, Over the last few years, I found myself reflecting on this a lot, questioning that necessarily negative connotation. Sure, if you get too narrowly focused on one or two trees, you might just walk in circles and never escape the forest. But what about spending too much time looking at the forest as a whole? You may trip over a root or a rock, or find yourself running smack into a tree that was due last Friday and you didn't even realize it. As we all navigated this deep, dark forest of dental school, we helped one another stay balanced in this regard. Each of us followed a slightly different path, but we all crossed the same woods together, and with largely the same priorities. Now as we emerge on the other side, strangers no more, the constant intersecting of our paths has created a shared experience unique to us as a group. This was our forest to conquer. Countless others have known dental school before us, and countless more will follow. There will always be constants in dental school, but the nuances of this journey, our journey, belong to us. You know them, I know them, and like they say about all the best jokes, you would have had to have been there to get it. Throughout this journey, we've laughed together, cried together, shared in each other's triumphs and setbacks. We have lived and felt the full spectrum of emotion. At times, we frustrated each other, and yet in other moments, we rescued each other. None of us emerged today unscathed, but again, none of us walked these woods alone. Every single one of us contributed to that shared experience simply by being present and facing the challenges of our time. We've now done things our first-year selves would scarcely dare to dream of, and we're only just getting started. Now, none of us did everything perfectly all the time, every day, but perhaps greatness does not lie in simply achieving perfection. What about the relentless pursuit of perfection? That willingness to show up every day, to improve ourselves and push the boundaries of what's possible for the betterment of those around us. Perhaps that's where greatness lies. But the truest measure of greatness, the most meaningful measures of a person, I don't have the answer for what those are. Humanity's wrestled with those questions since time immemorial. We can look to our elders for some guidance, and yet still these are questions that every single one of us must confront eventually. And so, while I don't have the answers, I look forward to finding out with you. As we transition from student to doctor, apprentice to decision maker, our time is now to begin asking these most important questions of ourselves. Just a scant couple of weeks ago, one of the very last patients I had the privilege of treating at the school, on his way out of his last appointment with me, we had quite a touching conversation, and he said to me, with no uncertainty in his voice, he looked me in the eyes and he said, "Just remember, they're going to want to know how much you care before they care how much you know." Now, as we prepare to receive our diplomas and be turned loose upon the world, I'm not ready to say goodbye. Isn't it much nicer to say, "I'll see you around," or "I'll see you later"? Thinking about that, I'd like to send us on our way by paraphrasing a blessing that was near and dear to the hearts of both of my very Irish grandmothers. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your field. And until we meet again, may God bless the entire class of 2022.
Thank you. The candidates who have completed requirements for degrees and certificates will now be presented by the Dean of the School of Dentistry. The degrees and certificates will be awarded by President Garibaldi. Will the dental hygiene candidates for degrees please rise? The candidates will be presented by Dean Aksu. Dean Aksu.
President Garibaldi, on behalf of the faculty of the Dental Hygiene Program, I present these candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Dental Hygiene and respectfully recommend that such degrees be conferred upon them.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I give that script here. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees and certificates for which you have been recommended, and now pronounce you sons and daughters of University of Detroit Mercy forever. Congratulations.
Candidates, please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery, Master of Science degree, and the certificates in advanced education in general dentistry, endodontics, orthodontics, and periodontics please rise? The candidates will be presented by Dean Aksu.
President Garibaldi, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Dentistry, I present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery, the Master of Science degree, and the certificates in advanced education in general dentistry, endodontics, orthodontics, and periodontics, and respectfully recommend that such degrees and certificates be conferred upon them.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees and certificates for which you have been recommended, and now pronounce you sons and daughters of University of Detroit Mercy forever. Congratulations.
Graduates, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left. Please be seated. Will the graduates from the Dental Hygiene Program please rise and come forward when directed to do so by the marshals?
Roxana Argunaga. Nada Bajet Al-Jabouri. Basman Al-Najim. Nasila Bilika. Elise Serena Blackman. Alyssa Elaine Khan. Samantha Katie Gnieznoski. Stephanie Christina Kaiser. Stephanie Marie Laika. Christelle Karina May. Lillian Jean Nichols. Miriam Nuruddin. Samir Kumar Mukesh Patel. Melanie Stephanie Petrovsky. Nadine George Ruskala. Mishael Salah. Brittany Ann